Hello there, loves. This is gonna bug me. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Those little hairs, they made me so crazy yesterday when I was doing a video. And now that I'm here, they're making me a little bit nuts. All right, crisis averted, I think. All right, I don't even know. But I was thinking about this last night when I was on a call with a client. And we were talking about an upcoming project that they were working on. And I said, well, how do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? And the saying kind of sailed over my client's head. And so I broke it down a little bit and I said, well, you know, when you're doing something that is this monumental kind of task, it's just one little thing at a time. You just chip away at it a little bit at a time. It seemed to land a little bit better that way. But it got me thinking of not only myself, but other successful people and how they are able to create success in kind of an effortless and an easy kind of way. Now, I'm not here to tell you that all of the things that you're going to want to accomplish are going to be easy. They're going to be trying, they're going to be difficult, you're probably going to want to bang your head against the wall more often than not. But the biggest thing that I found that has helped me to create success in multiple areas of my life, whether it was my Ph.D. or the triathlon or balancing life as a mom of 4, military wife, harmonizing, finding that time and that energy, building, I can't even speak, 10K plus months. What was kind of the reasoning behind that? How was I able to do it? And I believe that, and this was a video that I shared a couple weeks ago, that you can change your life in 30 minutes a day. It doesn't take a lot of time to begin to change because the beauty of time is that it compounds on itself. And so 30 minutes today, while it may not seem like a lot, in about a month's time, that's 15 hours that you've dedicated towards something. That's a good chunk of time. It really is a good chunk of time. And then you multiply that, and over a year, that's 150 plus hours, simple math, 180-ish hours, okay, that you've given towards something. That's a good amount of time. 180 hours doing something. Maybe it doesn't seem like a lot in one day, but over time, that's 180 hours that you've designated to a particular task. It's a good chunk of time. And what I have found is that my ability to be, 1, honest with myself, and 2, kind to myself, have allowed me to create the life that I enjoy now. And it's going to continue to allow me to create even more things in my life because I have big plans. I am not one to settle. You may know that about me already. But I love having something to move towards, right? I feel like I'm stagnant if I'm not moving towards something on a regular basis. And so being honest with myself in a way that is kind is incredibly powerful. So what I mean by this is if I decide that I want to change something, okay? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's I'm training for a triathlon, or whether it's writing a book, whatever that looks like, I, 1, get really honest with myself. Really honest with myself. Not like I get mad at myself about anything, but okay, let's say, for instance, I'm going to give you a very perfect example. Right now, I am working on writing a book. Okay. And I looked at my schedule and I said, you know what? Okay, how much time can I honestly commit to writing a book? And the pie in the sky kind of idea around this was I really would love to commit like every day, all day, every day, right? Like hours and hours a day to write a book because I enjoy writing. But when I looked at all of my other time commitments, all the other things that I want to get done, all the other things that I'm also working towards, I said realistically, 20 to 30 minutes Monday through Friday is what I can commit to writing a book. 20 to 30 minutes. Is it going to take me a little bit longer to write a book? Maybe. But designating and devoting 20 to 30 minutes a day is all that I can do right now, realistically. Okay. I remember having a conversation with somebody. They were interviewing me for their podcast. And one of the exercises I like to give to my clients, I call the honest time assessment. And a lot of people will cringe at this idea of doing this honest time assessment. And in fact, the woman that was interviewing me for the podcast, she said, I'm going to tell you point blank, I'm never going to do that. I have no desire to do an honest time assessment. And I understood where she was coming from, right? But at the same time, that would be one thing that would be prohibiting her from actually creating something that she desired. Because until you can get honest with where you currently are, you're really going to struggle to enact and create that change that you desire. So if you are wanting to run an 8-minute mile, in order to run an 8-minute mile, you have to know how fast your current mile is. If you want to make $10,000 a month, you have to know what you're currently making. If you want to travel from Florida to California, you have to know if you're actually in Florida. It seems silly, and we can drag our feet about it, but unless you are honest and I don't want to say non-biased because we're never non-biased. The whole world is seen through our eyes. It's biased by itself, right? But if you can be unattached, right? If you can be detached from it, not take it so personal and actually look at it very objectively, right? Objectively is outside of yourself. Subjectively is inside of yourself. So think self and subject, right? That's your self perspective. So objectively, if you can look at where your time is going objectively, then it allows you to actually see how much time you have, right? And this is the thing that derails so many people. And I will never forget my dissertation chair, okay? He said to me when I had finished my coursework, it was 3 years of coursework, and then there were comprehensive exams, and then you got into the writing process where you were actually writing the dissertation. The program in total, it was 7 years. And my dissertation chair said to me at the end of coursework, you better start writing, because if you hit 7 years and you've done nothing, I will not give you an extension. You cannot come to me and say that life happened and you weren't able to write your dissertation. That's not going to fly with me. And those words resonated with me so much that I got really honest with myself and I said, okay, how much time now as a mom of 3, because I had baby number 3 right after I finished my coursework. As a mom of 3, how much time can I honestly dedicate to writing my dissertation? And the truth was, my dissertation got an hour a day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes it took me less than an hour, sometimes it was the full hour. It was never more than a full hour. It was always 1 hour, Monday through Friday. And I did that to myself because I didn't want to create overwhelm as I was writing this dissertation. I wanted to be able to continue to live my life while I was writing this. I wanted to continue to enjoy my kids and not be a crazy mom who was running around overwhelmed all of the time while I was writing this. And so my dissertation got 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. It took me about 2 years to do that whole process. Okay? But I didn't get overwhelmed. I didn't slack in the rest of the things that I do around the house. My kids weren't neglected. My relationships didn't fail. All of the things didn't go out the window because I wanted to get this dissertation done. And that's what I see happen so often is we get so excited about this thing that we want to do, this thing that we want to achieve, that we believe we have to put all of our time and energy into that thing until it's achieved. Where it can happen much, much more effortlessly. 30 minutes a day may not feel like a lot, but over time, 30 minutes a day can build incredible things. Dissertation, a book, a 6-figure business, right? When I initially started my business got 30 minutes a day initially, because that was all I could put in there. I was very honest, and I said, okay, my business is not paying me anything right now, so I cannot justify spending more than 30 minutes a day on this. It wasn't paying me anything at the beginning. And so it got 30 minutes a day. But it took me being very honest with myself, being kind to myself about where I was, that allowed me to actually create the change. Okay? So right now, I am in the process of writing a book, 30 minutes a day. I'm also in the process of changing my relationship with money because it's been like this, right? And so I know it's gonna take some time for that relationship to change. And hello, hi Rachel, how are you? So I know that when I get really honest with myself, I am able to achieve those things. Do they happen overnight? No, absolutely not. But they do happen more effortlessly because I am not sitting there trying to work 8 hours a day hoping that the business will take off, or hoping that the whole world will change in the 8 hours that I spend. 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day is how I built the Overjoyed Mom to a 6-figure brand. Okay, 30 minutes a day. It was a little bit more than 30 minutes a day to do my triathlon training, right? But it was these small chunks of time that didn't interfere so much with the rest of life. But we get so excited and so focused and so driven that we can actually burn ourselves out by spending way, way too much time on something. I was having a conversation with another client, and he was talking about how he wanted to do a bike race with one of his friends. And he said to me, okay, now I am really excited to go for my bike ride tomorrow. He said, I have a 30-minute training ride on my schedule for tomorrow. And I said, okay, cool. He said, I feel like I should do an hour. And I said, you absolutely should not do an hour. I said, if your training schedule says 30 minutes, do the 30 minutes. He's like, well, I just feel like I should do more. I said, yeah, but if you do more than the 30 minutes initially, then the following day, you may not want to do anything because you are exhausted and you've tired yourself out. So instead of pushing yourself to exhaustion, can you say, okay, I'm going to do this thing for 30 minutes and then move to the next thing? You don't have to push yourself, I can't even speak. You don't have to push yourself or force yourself into something where it's just going to derail you. That is not the name of the game. If you can do something over time, it will build upon itself. It will compound. This is where that book, The Compound Effect, who wrote that book? I don't remember who wrote that book. I have it up there on my bookcase somewhere though. This is where it builds on each other. So if you are saying, and this is why some New Year's resolutions don't work, I talk about this a lot. This is why New Year's resolutions do not work, is because people try to do all of the same thing, all of the things at one time. Never serves anybody, right? To try to say, I'm going to give up sugar and milk and gluten and meat and everything else all in the same day is not necessarily going to serve you. Okay? Not to mention the shock that it's going to do to your system. You're also not going to wake up tomorrow morning having never run anything in your life and decide that tomorrow is the day you're going to run a marathon. That is not what works for you. That will cause you all kinds of pain and suffering, not to mention the total and utter exhaustion and physical, if not mental exhaustion as well from running a marathon. And so the best way to have success, to create the success, is, and this is a whole nother story for another day as well, but to really just get honest with yourself. Be kind while you're being honest with yourself and say, okay, here's what my day really looks like. Here's how much time I can actually commit to this thing. If this thing is really important to me, I'm gonna make sure that I have the time to do it. And that's another thing, right? If it's not important to you, I don't care if you have time to do it or not. But you have to know what's really important to you. Where are your priorities in this? Yes, exactly. Rachel says, I'm working on one thing for my craft business, one thing at a time. Perfect. Yes, one thing at a time. If you sat down to do 95 things at once, could you imagine how much wouldn't get done? A lot. A lot. You'd be halfway done with a lot of things and maybe get things 90% done, but you would never fully finish any of those things, right? So that has been my rule of thumb. That has been, I don't even like to say rule of thumb. Saying cringes makes me cringe a little bit from another client. But what has really, really helped me to create this success in different areas of my life is just these little bits of focused time. Little bits of focused time. When it comes to working on my relationship with my husband, we don't have a date night all the time. We have 4 children that are all in sports right now. It's a little zooey around here to be totally honest with you during the week. There are some times where I don't see my husband until about 9 o'clock with all of the things that the kids are doing. But I can sit there for 15 minutes and connect and be present and have a conversation with him, and that works because all the ships are passing in different times right now, right? It's just little chunks of time built upon themselves over time. And that's really the best that you can do, right? Like, if you're not going to get honest with yourself, you're going to continue to bang your head against the wall when it comes time to change something, or when it comes time to say, okay, I want that thing. I want a new car. I want a different job. I want to write a book. I want to do a podcast. I want to build a business. I want to do whatever. It helps if you just do 30 minutes a day. This was also something that came up for me this morning on a run. I was talking with a previous client a couple weeks ago, and she said to me, she said, listen, I don't think I can just leap. Like, I don't think I can quit my job and just leap into my business. And I said, don't do it then. You do not need to do a shock to your nervous system where you put so much pressure on your business to perform that you don't have, it's not enjoyable. If you pull the plug on your regular income and you leap to get your business to take off, it can be pretty traumatic for people. It can create a lot of pressure. And so when you're building your business, if your business is making $0, and this is what I said to her, if your business is currently making $0, you should not be spending more than 30 minutes a day on it. 60 minutes if you're being crafty and making something maybe, right? Like 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes doesn't take you that long to begin to build your business. And then when your business starts to bring in the money, then it makes sense for you to ease back on your other job and spend more time on your business. But you don't always have to jump and leap and fly and create stress to your nervous system. That can create a lot of panic, and it will actually add a lot of pressure to your business. Some people work really well with that. Kudos to them. I am not one of them. I like to do my 30-minute chunks because it doesn't do so much to my nervous system. I have 4 kids. There's enough going on with my nervous system. I don't need that too. So, to wrap all of this up, if you are looking to create success in a particular area of your life, you need to get honest about where you're starting. Okay? The last little metaphor I'm going to give you is, if you decide that you want to lose 50 pounds, you have to know how much you weigh first to know when you reach 50 pounds, right? You have to know where you are in order to get to where you're going. And so you've just got to sit and be honest with yourself. Give yourself love. You don't know any better until you know better, right? This is something I say a lot. Yes. So Rachel says I either do 15 or 20 minutes for myself. Yes. And that's a great place to start because it's not so overwhelming. If you've never done self-care before, you've never exercised before, you've never eaten healthy before, whatever that is, whatever the thing is that you're going towards, a small chunk of time is going to be really manageable for you. And that's actually going to build over time. It's going to be incredible, beautiful, and life will still happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will be back here next Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we will talk about more then. So I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you all soon. Oh, as always, be big, be bold, and be opulent. Bye, love.